Hey, welcome to Vinyl Verdict. I'm Jamie.
And I'm Adam.
This week we're talking about a fan request.
Ooh.
One of our
Yeah, we do it for the fans.
yeah, we only do it for the only fans.
We only do this. We do this podcast specifically for the clout.
Yeah, all that clout we get. So one of our listeners has asked me on, I don't know, Twitter and in the comments. Might have sent us an email too. Who knows? To cover Alchemy by Dire Straits for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years now. And I said a couple of times we probably wouldn't cover it because the album is so long. But you know what? So long to that idea.
That's right. We found out a way to get more time to listen to records.
Yeah.
This isn't true, but we'll just suffer because Jamie wanted to, because we love our fans.
Well,
this isn't suffering. This is a joy.
Anyway, Alchemy is Dire Straits' first live album. Came out in 1984, just before, a year before the release of their most successful album, which is the Brothers in Arms album, the one that has Money for Nothing.
Yeah, that's
on
really
it.
what kind of like really, I think,
Yeah, and they
made them
playing,
like a name worldwide.
They started playing.
They were
festivals
they were relatively prominent in the UK for a while, especially on the back of Sultans of Swing.
That's right. Yeah,
But I think that
on their first
Brothers in Arms really renewed gave them interest around the world.
Yeah. This album is in support of their in support of their album Love Over Gold, which came out in 1983. This album was recorded on the 22nd and 23rd of July in 1983 at the Hammersmith Odeon in London, in front of about 4,000 people. It was filmed for a release on Betamax.
Wow.
And VHS.
I was wondering because they've uploaded a bunch of the concert film to YouTube, and I was like, this is really high quality.
Yeah.
And it's because probably it was a Betamax copy.
Yeah, it was on Betamax and VHS in stereo. It was only available for stereo VCRs.
I didn't know that there was a distinction at one point.
Yeah, so my parents' VCR when I was a kid was a monorail VCR, and so you could watch stereo tapes on it.
So you were poor growing up.
Yeah, well, you know what though? I think my parents made the choice because the difference in cost between a stereo and a mono VCR was probably several $100s in the 80s.
Yeah, I wouldn't know because by time I was alive,
a youth,
like in '95, I'm sure stereo VHS tape was very ubiquitous. Yeah, and so like I remembered lots of tapes, but I also remember getting the DVD player.
Yeah. I don't think it really mattered for us because our TV only had one speaker anyway. It was console TV. So whether it had two speakers or one, I don't think it really mattered. Or whether the two channels or not. Anyway, this was recorded in front of a crowd of about 4,000 people, and you could really hear it.
4,000, it sounds like a lot more.
Yeah. The Hammersmith Odeon is not a huge venue, but it is a very pretty venue if you look it up.
Is it as pretty as Cineplex Odeon?
Yes, I would say it is as pretty as the Cineplex Odeon.
Just barely.
Cineplex Odeon,
just as pretty.
For the listener at home, Cineplex Odeon is a theater chain here in Canada.
Some would say basically the only theater
It's
chain.
the only one, basically, other than Landmark. Anyway, these are the last two concerts of the tour. And like a lot of albums that we would consider classics these days, this album was recorded live to tape by the Rolling Stones mobile studio, which was built into a full-size commercial box truck.
That's cool.
Albums recorded using this studio include Zeppelin 3, 4, Houses of the Holy, and Physical Graffiti, as well as the Who's Next, Deep Purple's Machine Head. That's the one with Smoke on the Water on it.
Basically every album Jamie's ever loved.
Yeah, and Bob Marley's live album, which is a banger. The only Rolling Stones album that was ever recorded on it was Sticky Fingers.
That's really funny that they didn't get that much use out of it. Well, didn't they do they did a lot of live recording with it?
Yeah. No.
Really?
They rented it out. So the Stones were upset that studio time was hard to get and that they couldn't record at hours where they would be tweaking. So they built their own studio and recorded wherever they wanted.
It's so weird that it's in Calgary.
What the
studio.
Oh, like they own
They're like,
like
it's in a music, it's in
oh,
the
it's in a
National
museum
it's in the
there.
National
Okay.
Music Center in Calgary. Why does a
I
British mobile studio exist in a
I
a
remember
mid-tier
it was
North
restored and
American
it
city?
toured around for a while. It's very interesting. So it was
It's still, they still use it to record.
oh, interesting. Yeah, it was retired by the Stones in 1990 and then it went on to have like a career on its own. I think they sold it. But what I find most interesting about this particular album is how well you can hear the crowd. Um,
Yeah, they really let you know that it was live.
yeah, so there's a number of live albums we've listened to where the crowd reaction is sort of muted, and so you don't get a sense of whether the crowd was really enjoying what was going on. But this one, they're hooting and hollering like they're at a Zeppelin concert.
Yeah, they were having a rip roaring time.
Which is very interesting because some of these songs are more moody and atmospheric
Mm-hmm.
than they are rip roaring.
And I would say sometimes I think that the audience noise is like almost to the detriment, right? Like there's points where I'm like, this is supposed to be quiet, moody, and atmospheric, and all you can hear is like 17 different douchebags whistling.
Yeah, or like someone be like, yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah,
yeah.
so the swing.
So like it can be
In that
kind of
sense,
annoying.
the album is more real. But the interesting thing is the vibe seems off for the music being played because you get Mark Knopfler kind of mumbling his way through several albums worth of music, and then the crowd is just like, "No stairway, play stairway," or like reacting like they were just at a Queen concert or something like
Yeah.
that. It's very strange, but I enjoyed that part. There's some very good extended guitar solos and instrumental parts added to the songs that sort of flesh them out. Having said that, there are only 10 songs on this album, and this album is 88 minutes long. So some of the songs are extremely long.
Yeah, and depending on the version you're listening to, it can be even longer. I believe that the digital version is 94 minutes total.
Yeah, and then there's a final cut version that has every song they played that's 106 minutes long. That one has 2 songs that were cut that I think should have stayed cut. One of them is Portobello Bell from
It's the kind of thing that if you're at the concert, you're happy to see it for the full like almost 2 hours, right? You're like
yeah,
having a good time for
yeah.
90 minutes plus. It's in an encore, you're having a great time, but like as a experience, as a listening experience, it's not as a.
This one includes the encore as well. The last song on the album is the theme from The Local Hero, which was a movie soundtrack that Mark Knopfler did the music to.
Yeah.
And it's basically like an instrumental outro, and they did it. I think that movie might have come out in 1984. Don't quote me on that one. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
But this is a double LP, and some of the sides of the album only have 2 tracks on them.
I mean, there's how many? There's 4 songs on this album that are over 10 minutes.
Yes, there sure are.
Do you like jam bands? Are you
Yeah,
a jam band
100%.
kind of guy?
I own many Grateful Dead albums.
Yeah.
And I think I own a number of Fish albums as well. Don't quote me on that.
Do you have any bootlegs?
Yes, I have.
That's kind of cool.
I have many bootlegs.
I think I like the idea of jam bands more than I like jam bands.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I really enjoy some jam bands. Some of them are like I own Fish's album Hampton Comes Alive, which is a play on Frampton Comes Alive.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
So the Hampton is the Hampton Coliseum that they played at.
Yeah.
But that one is 3 CDs.
Yeah. I think there's a level of indulgence that comes with it that it maybe works better in a concert setting.
3 74-minute CDs.
Is that over like several nights or?
Yeah, it was their entire stand at the Hampton Coliseum.
Yeah, and I think that jams are cool, but obviously they run that risk of like being mediocre, which I guess is part of the thrill.
Yeah.
But also I think that the other issue is that many jam bands don't have good songs. Like that's I think what a big thing that like kind of differentiates the Grateful Dead from a lot of other jam bands is that Jerry Garcia also knew how to write a good song,
Mm-hmm.
like just a straight ahead, tight, good song.
Yeah, no, I like the Grateful Dead quite a bit. Their sheer tightness of the way they, like, even as like kind of like a stoner jam band, they played extremely tight
Yeah,
together.
they're great. They're skilled. The musicianship almost outshines the experience a lot of the time
Yes.
for jam bands.
Now, Dire Straits not a jam band per se.
They do a decent amount of jamming on here.
Yeah, a lot of these songs were already long on the album. In fact, Telegraph Road is actually shorter by over a minute on this album than it is on. What's actually funny about Telegraph Road is that the single is 5 minutes and 50 seconds. I don't know how they took all that song and put it into 5 minutes.
Yeah, I guess the label forced it because that's like it's like a 2112 situation on that album, right?
Yeah,
Where it's like the first half is basically one song.
yeah, yeah. That's the opening track to Love Over Gold,
Yeah,
Gold, which this is the tour for.
but I think we're getting ahead of ourselves. I think
Yeah. Overall, this is probably a solid example of what the band would have sounded like if you went to a concert in 1983. Is it recommendable? I think so, but I think in pieces. I don't think the whole
yeah.
album is a banger from start to finish. I think
To
there's some really good bits to it though.
to me, there's some clear highlights, and then there's some tracks that I'm like, well, if you want to listen to it, you can just listen to the album version, and it's
Yeah.
a little bit more polished in terms of production with a little bit of a better vocal performance. Because Mark Knopfler's not really a stunning vocalist.
No,
Uh, he,
hell of a
he
guitarist.
kind of does like a tired Bob Dylan.
I remember, was it you I was talking to the other day where you like, I had no idea that Mark Knopfler was British.
Yeah, I didn't.
In fact, he is not. He's Scottish. So
Oh,
he's
oops.
from Glasgow. So anyway, at the time of recording, Dire Straits was Mark Knopfler, Alan Clark on keyboards, John Ilsley on bass. Mark and John are the only consistent members of Dire Straits. And then Hal Lindez also on guitar and backing vocals, and Terry Williams on drums. They're also featuring Mel Collins on the saxophone, Tommy Mandel on additional keyboards, and that's it. That's the
Yeah,
whole band.
it's a tight band, and it's mixed in a way that you can get a pretty good feeling of everybody who's playing. Though I do say that the keyboards get lost and act as sometimes. The keyboards seem to go in and out.
Yeah,
Sometimes they play a very textural role, but it's less prominent than I'd say it's mixed on the albums and the Dire Straits albums. Like,
yeah,
but also sometimes there's way more keyboard than ever because I think like their first couple of albums there was no keyboards on Dire Straits.
that's right. Yeah,
So they add some of that, and it's usually like nice. I think it really fills it out sometimes.
and there's some good synth work and some good organ
Yeah.
work on this. I'm not aware of whether the Hammersmith Odeon has like a pipe organ in it, but on one track there does sound like there's a good pipe organ type sound on it. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no. If we keep talking about this concert, we might as well just freaking start it.
Yeah, let's give it one quick last listen.
I really like to see you again. But Juliet, when we made love, you used to cry. You said I love you like.
We open up with this like very atmospheric and ominous like droning chord, and then these thunderous like horns almost.
Yeah.
And it sounds like it's gonna be so epic. And then you're like,
once upon a time.
"What's up at the time?" You know?
This
It's like
song has-
timpani.
yeah.
Like, where's the timpani coming from?
There's an additional percussionist. I forgot about him. His name is this guy. He's obviously Dutch. His name is Joop de Kort, which I think is a great name. I'm 100% not pronouncing that correctly. Anyway, he is playing that additional percussion part. I forgot him when I wrote out his.
Everybody.
eh,
Once upon a time in the West. It's just the
Once
starting.
upon
It's
a
just funny
time.
because they have this like huge like fanfare to have him come in, and then it's just like, oh, and then we just go back to zero again. And you get these
Yeah.
little twinkling little keys.
The song has three main topics in the lyrics. You can't really pick them out because the way Mark Knopfler singing about it. He's using the juxtaposition of Once Upon a Time in the West being a cowboy movie to talk about problems plaguing modern society, like reckless drivers, people who
Mm,
were apathetic about things going on around them. So people watching bad things happen and not doing anything about it.
mm.
And the illusion of peace and the fallacy of the idea of whatever a peacekeeper is. Because he talks about people getting shot by the peacekeeper.
Sure. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
he talks about a bunch of stuff about the modern society. There's a guitar solo.
There's a lot of guitar solo.
Yeah. And it's 13 minutes long.
Yeah, I mean, so this is one of the most extended songs on the album because I
Yes.
think it's only like 5 minutes usually. It's a really kind of smooth, bluesy jam that's like constantly switching between 3/4 and 4/4 in
Yeah.
a way that kind of gives it this really cool, restless vibe. But it's so slight that you might not really notice it unless you're paying attention. And that kind of like slick complexity is like kind
Mhm.
of very much a Knopfler and Dire Straits type thing, where
Yes.
it's like very, it's not in your face about the technicality of it. Like even stuff like their later hits, like Money for Nothing is like a crazy. It doesn't sound like that crazy of a guitar riff,
It's
but it's like actually very difficult to play.
yeah, because he finger picks
And there's
it.
tons of harmonics
Yeah.
that like add to it. And so like Mark Knopfler as a guitar player is very, very unique.
Oh, yes. Mark Knopfler is unique because listener at home, he's unique because he plays like he's playing with a pick, but he's actually playing with all of his fingers
Yeah.
basically at the same time.
He almost exclusively finger picks.
Yeah.
So he must
That's
have
what
like
makes
thick
him a really
nails.
good Spanish guitarist. Like you hear that
Yes.
on the album. This is a real slow burn, and the lyrics are kind of mumbled, but the percussion on it is excellent.
Yeah, the whole band's so tight.
Yeah. This is from the album Communique, which was their album in 1979, I want to say. 79, 70, 80 maybe. But it builds up like there's going to be something happening, and then it never really gets there, which I guess is a choice.
I'd say this is, of all of the like extended jams on the album, this is the biggest. This is the most indulgent one to me. Because I agree, it just doesn't really go anywhere. It just plays on the vibe, and yes, it's a cool,
Yeah.
subtle vibe, but the fact that it doesn't go anywhere makes it very easy to tune out.
And then it kind of, well, to be honest with you, when I listen to this album, I listen to it while I'm making dinner or like I'm doing something like cleaning the house.
It's good background music.
Because yeah, you can go away and like you could be loading the washing machine up and then come back
Yeah.
and he's still in a solo.
Yeah, and then but the nice thing is that when you do tune back in, something interesting's happening.
Yes.
But it's crazy how like it's not until like minute 10 that it really feels like it builds up. And they get
Yes.
these pianos with these big huge chords and these big drums, and then immediately as soon as it gets huge, it's like, nah, we chill again.
Yeah, and then it goes down and there's like an extended outro for basically the last 2 minutes of the song.
Yeah, yeah. It's very indulgent. It's a really cool track. To me, maybe if it was live, I'd probably be like, this is so cool. I love it when they jam out live.
Yeah.
Like I saw King Gizzard do like a 20-minute version of one of their like songs off of their like synth album that I never didn't really care for.
Yeah.
And it was so cool live.
Yeah, I bet.
And honestly, looking back at the recording, it also just ripped. But like, I think it also to me in my brain it ripped because I was there.
Yeah, the experience of it is a little bit different than sitting
Yeah.
at home. And this song is basically most of side A
Yeah.
of disc 1.
And it's followed up by.
It's followed up by on the album Romeo and Juliet. On the CD version, it's followed up by Espresso Love.
Yeah. So is Espresso Love cut from the vinyl?
No, Espresso Love is on side 2 of LP
because it's too long. So Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo and Juliet. That's a retelling of Romeo and Juliet, but it's really more about a relationship that ended because of poor timing.
It's like about what if Romeo and Juliet didn't like kill themselves?
Yeah. It's like the relationship didn't work out because of bad timing, which I think is an interesting modern take on it.
I think this is one of the like a classic Dire Straits song.
Oh, 100%. This is
It's-
probably one of the better Dire Straits songs. It's one of his better like solos.
It's a
too.
great solo. It's a beautiful song. The lyrics are quite good.
Yeah.
He's so laid back as a vocalist that it kind of takes it kind of drags the emotion away from it because there's like such a the chorus especially such a dramatic
yeah
instrumental And he's just like, "How to say it in the way of Romeo and Juliet." And I'm like, it sounds like he's trying to not try.
I think it's just the way he is. I really enjoyed the finger-picked like Spanish guitar acoustic intro to this song.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah, the guitar he's playing, the Spanish guitar is so good.
And it's recorded so well. Like it really picks up all the tone on it. This is from the album Making Movies, which came out in like 1981 or 82. I like that album.
Yeah,
This is one of the cuts from it, and it's about the same length.
Yeah, there's like a minute and a bit added on, which I was like, that's an appropriate extended guitar
Yeah,
solo.
like the intro's a little bit longer, the outro's a little bit longer. But yeah, the tone on like all the instruments that they picked up, actually quite good. But I won't call it a little song. It's a fun song.
Yeah, I will say that like so far, this album was kind of, I struggled to enjoy it at the start. It took a lot
little
it took a
bit.
lot of listens for me, and I think that the back half of it is
Yes.
better.
Yeah, they kind of warm you up to what you're gonna get into.
It's very low key, low energy, and as somebody who's not that familiar with the Dire Straits and their work, I was like, okay, I've come around on Romeo and Juliet because it's a good song, but like even like it doesn't really get going till Espresso Love, and then
they do some weird stuff with pacing, and so they Once Upon a Time in the West and Romeo and Juliet are kind of two slow paced songs.
I don't know what they actually opened with though.
What's that?
I don't know what the actual order is.
No, the actual order is the CD version.
So Espresso
Love is the second song.
Okay, so they kind of actually do get the flow a little bit better. They get the vibe going.
They kind of speed you up and you slow you down. Let's go back to Espresso Love because that's the next track on the LP.
You know what I just thought about? This is the second album called Alchemy that we've covered.
Yeah, what was the first one?
It was Disclosure.
Oh yeah, were you here for that one?
No, but I remember you guys covering it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we'll get into why it's called Alchemy later, but mostly because
why is it called Espresso Love? It's espresso, and that's like a pet peeve of mine. Is when people are like, "Oh, do you have an espresso machine?"
I have a feeling it has something to do with like it's like talking about speed, but like in a different. I don't know, man. Like I'm not British, and well, I guess neither is Mark Knopfler. But I like the riff on this one though.
Yeah, fun like kind of blues rock.
Yeah, it kind of fades into, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, it does. The chorus also kind of sounds like Romeo and Juliet, but faster.
Sure,
it's kind of weird to me. Like it's just like I think it's maybe just the striking piano chords across both that are giving me that vibe. But this is like actually something that brings up some of the energy.
Yeah,
and
crowd likes it too.
After listening to this album for almost 20 minutes, it was very overdue.
Yeah,
to get the energy back up.
Over 20 minutes.
For 21 minutes.
We're almost 20.
And I was like, finally something to wake me up. As woken as Dire Straits can ever be.
Yeah, she get the sun in the daytime. She get the perfume in the dusk. Whatever that means.
Yeah, I think this is another good song, and this is where you can really hear the tightness of the band.
Yeah,
the bassist and the drummer both like really keeping it locked down while he's 100%. Jamming on top. The keyboards are adding a lot of texture. It's a really fun rockabilly kind of, well, not rockabilly, but it's a fun song. It's a vibe.
Yeah, you kind of do.
This I would be dancing to at the concert.
I'm kind of doing this thing where like my head is going from side to side. Yeah, I got my lighter up in the air. Oh god, it's pretty good. It's a song about an infatuation.
And we get some backup vocals.
Yeah. Well, there's actually backup vocals on Romeo and Juliet too.
Didn't notice them.
Yeah. They're so the guitarist and the bassist do a little bit of little background.
There's a call and response at the end here. And that's probably why it sticks out.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
The solo around 240 is Chef's Kiss. And it goes into a really nice quiet part right after that, which I think is very Dire Straitsy.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good one. And then you get into Private Investigations, and I don't really like that song very much, and it's so very long.
Yeah, my notes I say stop whistling, shut up.
Yeah,
because he's playing this like nice Spanish guitar, and then nothing happens in the entire song.
Yeah, he Private Investigations is from Love Over Gold, so they must have had to include a couple of songs from Love Over Gold.
They're touring it.
I actually don't know what album Espresso Love is on. I think it's on Making Movies, but it's an acoustic electric song. Private Investigations, it's a miss, and it's in the middle of side 2. Side 2 actually has 3 tracks on it. This one is 7 minutes and 40 seconds long.
Which apparently this is like not very different in length from the original.
No. It just never goes anywhere.
It's like it's got this cool like they got this cool spy vibe to it, private investigator, but it takes 4 minutes to get there.
Yes. And
then there's why are they keeping the So there's a couple of points on the album that piss me off about keeping the audience, where the audience is like clapping off beat. And I'm like, why would you keep the audience mix there? It's especially bad in I think Telegraph Road. The start of Telegraph Road, the audience is just like not even close. And they like kept it in. I'm like, this is so bad.
No, cut that part out. On the CD version, Private Investigations is preceded by Love Over Gold, the song from the album of the same name. It's not included on the LP. I think it was included as a single that was in support of it.
Yeah, there's like this tension through the song that only comes in the end and doesn't get resolved, and it takes 4 minutes to get to the tension.
Yeah.
And then the tension, it just doesn't
ends.
And like there's like this interest in the piano and the guitar have like this kind of passion, but he just sleepwalks through the entire vocal.
Yep.
It sounds like it's gonna build to something.
And then it does.
And then there's like these big guitar chords, and then they're like, bye.
And then it goes into one of the best versions of Sultans of Swing I have ever heard.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be surprising that one of the best Dire Straits songs is also the jam on this album that best justifies its 10-minute length. The opening little like that little improvisation that he does right at the start, so sick. And again, they bring the energy back up and it's way more interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think that Mark Knopfler is a compelling enough songwriter for the amount of slow burns he does.
I can go either way. Some of his lyrics are very interesting.
Lyrically, he's fine.
As a singer, I don't think I need more of Mark Knopfler mumbling through.
Yeah. I actually think Bob Dylan's better than him. People like rag on Bob Dylan, but I think Bob Dylan's a better vocalist than Mark Knopfler.
Yeah, Bob Dylan understood energies sometimes, though.
Yeah.
Like, there's a bunch of stinker Bob Dylan albums. But like there's also some really good ones where he has a lot of good energy on them. Now, in terms of good energy, Sultans of Swing has all of that. The song has incredible solos in it.
Yeah.
That are not included on the LP version or the radio version. The thing that pissed me off about the radio version of the song is they cut the end solo out.
Which is like the best.
Which is the best part of the song.
The outro solo is so good. The drummer just goes crazy on this one.
Yeah.
The whole band's just really in peak form, and the added guitar improvisations are great. Like all the little like top notes that are from him and the other guitarist.
Yeah,
both doing improv, and I think they both have a solo on this.
Yes,
and both of the solos are really good.
Yeah,
like
really, really good. This is very good energy. There's some good backing vocals on it. But the drummer is like absolutely smashing those bongos. Yeah.
I think to me the most inspired portion of the song is it like the 450.
Oh
like
yeah,
6 minutes.
Yeah.
That guitar solo and jam is crazy.
Now you can always tell which one is a Mark Knopfler solo because it sounds like he's picking it like a banjo.
Yeah,
because he is.
So he's got those little finger picked harmonics.
Yeah.
Like, and then these really cool runs, and it brings the energy to like this big climax of the track, and then they bring it back down, and they actually go somewhere with it.
Yeah.
They bring it back down, and then it builds up right again for the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is awesome. I would say that this is to me, this is the definitive version of Sultans of Swing.
Yeah, and it's one you never hear. There's another version of it. I think it's on their album, their other live album, and it's not as good because it's like a late 80s version of it. And you could tell at that point they were probably kind of tired of singing the song. Actually, at this point, they had already been doing this song for over 7 years. But this one is inspired. It sounds like they're into it. The crowd is into it. In the left channel, there's some good organ work.
Yeah, this is just freaking awesome.
Then after that, we get into the second LP. It begins on side A of LP2 with Two Young Lovers, which is a song that originally appeared on an EP called Twistin' by the Pool. The song Twistin' by the Pool.
It sounds like it would be on an album called Twistin' by the Pool.
The song Twistin' by the Pool is dope. You should totally listen to that. Two Young Lovers It's just okay.
It's a tasty sax lick,
Yeah.
and it's like a very rockabilly blues rock.
Yeah, it's like
It's-
a 50s song,
It's
right?
quite fun. It's got a boogie, and it keeps the energy that ended Sultans of Swing. And it's like probably the highest energy that the whole album gets.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah, our friend Mel Collins is the saxophonist. He gets a shout out from our friend Mark Knopfler. The riff is pretty good on it. The saxophone is pretty good. The piano part,
Yeah.
it rips too.
And then this is another guitar. There's Mark Knopfler does not solo on this track.
No,
He's
does
rhythm
not.
guitar for the entire time.
He's just playing a straight ahead thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And that gives the other guitarists a chance to shine with a pretty fun guitar solo.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be 4 minutes and 50 seconds long, though. It is a little.
No, I believe it's approximately a minute longer than on the EP. I actually own that EP. We can talk about it one day if we ever cover
Yeah.
EPs again.
But either way, I was like, I love that we're like at this high energy moment. I can't wait for them to keep the energy up.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then we get into my favorite song on the album. Like Sultans of Swing is good, but when I first listened to this album, I wasn't previously aware of this song Tunnel of Love. But I think Tunnel of Love, the studio version, and then Tunnel of Love, the live version, probably has his best solo on it, like of any Dire Straits song. This one begins with the theme from the musical Carousel, which is a Rodgers and Hammerstein musical.
so okay, on the LP, does it have that weird like 3-minute jam at the start?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not named. That instrumental jam isn't named. You talk about the one that has like the
With
saxophone,
the
solo.
saxophone?
Yeah, that jam isn't named. It certainly does. And that song is actually longer by about 8 seconds on the LP than it is on the CD for whatever reason.
Is the jam this like this little part of it part of Tunnel of Love? I thought Tunnel of Love just started with the organ.
So, sorry, on the album it is not included. I think it's just this is for the live album. But like that like marimba sounding intro
Yeah.
and then it goes into the saxophone thing.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. It also sounds like it's kind of like a Mark Knopfler need to break.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
Like
if
he's
you-
there, he's playing, but it's more like I think he's definitely like taking a drink of water for the first minute and a half or something.
Yeah, if you watch the live like video, he's got a headband on, and it looks like he needs it.
Yeah, they're drenched.
Yeah, I do like right after the saxophone intro, Mark Knopfler steps up the mic, and goes, "This one's called Tunnel of Love. This one's called Tunnel of Love."
This is got love.
Really cool. Then you
Yes,
get
sir.
your Carousel intro. Tunnel of Love is an interesting song. It's about when Mark Knopfler was a boy and like going to this theme park called the Spanish City. It's about him discovering love at a theme park, which I think is kind of cool. It's kind of like an old vibe.
Yeah.
But the solos on this song are incredible. The outro solo, the middle solo, both excellent.
It is another over 10-minute long track.
100%. It is almost 15 minutes long.
And that I'm tired.
I think if we weren't listening to it as an academic discourse like what we're doing right now, it would be a little bit more tolerable for all these very, very long
I mean,
songs
it's
to be grouped together.
in its defense, it's a live album of the Dire Straits. You go there to see it, listen to a bunch of Dire Straits songs.
Yeah, 100%.
So like it is a good song. This is a doozy of a track, but I agree it's a jam. I really enjoy it, and I also think that this is another time where they slow something down and it builds back up and it feels earned, unlike other times in this album. Where
Yeah,
it jams.
100%. Yeah, it speeds up and slows down a number of times during the song, which I think is kind of cool. It has kind of like a roller coaster feel to it. And one of the songs is part of the lyrics is about going on a roller coaster and going on a Ferris wheel and all that. And like, I think it has some good ups and downs as part of the song. The song in general is just really fun. It is extremely long, and then
But it's not that much longer than the original. Like the actual Tunnel of
No.
Love part, it's only like 2 minutes longer.
no,
So it's not really that overindulgent for what it was. I guess probably just an indulgent song to begin with.
Like I said, the outro solo is one of my favorites. I think it's like something he does really, really well on. And then you flip the LP over, and then we get Telegraph Road,
Another
14-minute song.
Yeah. And this one though was actually composed as a
Yes.
14-minute long song.
That's right. This is the opening song to Love Over Gold. This song is actually a minute shorter than the album version.
I just, at this point on the live album, when you've had so many 14-minute long tracks,
Yeah.
it's like,
This is the
it
last one.
feels like we lose variety.
Yeah.
Like,
they do have a pacing problem.
Right?
A little bit.
Like, we just like could have had another 2-3 songs from across their like
Mhm.
discography in here, and they instead chose to play way too long on several songs. And then this one, I think the audience does it the most disservice.
Yes.
This is such an atmospheric track, and it thrives on that atmosphere. And the audience clapping off beat, hooting and hollering during all the quiet moments, especially when it's like it doesn't crescendo that much.
No.
It's still a soft rock song. So sapping the dynamics of their power really hurts this track in a way that I think it actually does not. In a way that is disappointing coming from the album.
Yeah. The work he's doing on the acoustic guitar on this one, especially at the beginning, is excellent.
It's very pretty.
The song was inspired as they were driving up Telegraph Road, which is somewhere in Michigan. I didn't actually look that up. Mark was inspired by The Journey. He was in the front of the tour bus. He was also reading a book called Growth of the Soil, which won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1920. It's a novel about a fella in Norway rejecting modernity that was slowly coming in to Norway at the time. It was about a guy who wanted to be just a simple farmer in a world that was changing around him. And a lot of the lyrics in this song are about the changing of how Telegraph Road built up, because it's like a main thoroughfare, I guess. Like he talks about like then came the trucks, and then came the houses, and then came the people, and then it's sort of like petering out by the time they're driving down it. I think it's pretty cool. It's a really atmospheric song, I think is the best way of describing it.
Yeah, and I think it's really good. It kind of has this like tension and release that's like really successful, that like basically it's kind of reminiscent to what they did on Private Investigator, but Private Investigator or Investigations kind of fails to justify its length, whereas this one feels like it's the part of its length. It uses its length to provide that extra drama and tension. And that's why it's so annoying that every single time they give the subtlety and the quietness, the freaking crowd comes in and goes, woo! Like, I'm just like, shut up.
Yeah.
It doesn't really come together at the end. With you get the higher energy jams. It's really quite fun.
Yeah.
And then they should have ended the album here.
Yeah.
It might have been, this is the last song we play, and then they walk off and come back and do 2 songs for an encore.
Yeah, my understanding is that the last song was Solid Rock, and then the Going Home was the encore both nights. Solid Rock, it's okay. It's solid.
Solid as a rock.
It's also like 6 minutes long.
Yeah, definitely the upbeat, more blues rocky Dire Straits.
Yeah.
Less the
yeah, it's got some
soft
drums
rock
and
type
some
stuff.
organ. Then you get a ripping guitar beat, and it's far more upbeat than the previous song.
Yeah. It is fun. The energy's there. I think at this point, though, I'm just like spent from listening to so much Dire Straits.
Fair enough.
But yeah, guitar work's still great. Drumming stuff.
Yep.
Like it all hits.
You get all the good parts of Dire Straits.
It's just like Dire Straits are not a band with that much variety, at least at this point in their career.
No, and it wouldn't be until the next album that they were truly commercially successful. And then at some point in his career, Mark Knopfler did the soundtrack to the movie The Local Hero, and they do the theme song from it for the outro. It's got a really sick synth intro to that song.
Yeah.
And then it's got a little bit more to it at the end, but it's like 6 minutes.
It's a really cool atmospheric track.
Definitely.
I think it kind of ends. It takes too long to get where if this was a 2-minute song,
yeah,
and had all the component bits, and it ended like that, I think this is a really nice way to end the concert and send everyone home.
Yeah,
but it's just it's just indulgent in length.
Definitely, it takes a little while to get to where it's going.
Yeah,
and
then every part that it takes too long in every part, and every part's not interesting enough to get there.
Yeah,
but it is a good song.
Yeah, I don't mind it. It's definitely a theme song from an movie, which is fine. I thought like overall
I think like the way it ends feels very complete. The end of the song is very final. It's like wrapping a little bow on top of the concert. It feels like very much like this
Yeah.
is the end. Bye bye everybody. Like the
Yeah,
credits have rolled.
see you next time.
Yeah.
Well, that's the end of the album. Let's talk about the way the album looks.
Yeah.
And like the package itself. My copy is extremely old, and it was kind of beat up when I got it. But the LPs themselves are in immaculate condition. It's just the sleeve that's kind of
That's you know what? We can take that. We can deal with
yeah.
that.
So the
The album art's really cool.
the album art is a painting called Alchemy 1974,
It's like this trippy.
and it's been edited to add
Almost-
some Dire Straits stuff.
It's got almost like a collage type feel to it. You have these like
Yeah.
lips on top of this guitar. You have these like painted legs. There's so much motion, and it's really cool. It's hard to explain though.
So the image on the front is kind of it's a painting called Alchemy, and they've added on some guitars and some lips, and then on the back they've added on photos of the band. On the inside is like another collage. It's a picture of the auditorium with some artwork in the middle, which is I think kind of cool.
That's pretty cool.
But it's a double gatefold because that's how we used to do live albums. We used to do it right, or sorry, double LPs. We used to do them right. On the back, it has the track listing via for each album or LP. And on the back, it has a disclaimer. It says, "This is a recording of excerpts from one Dire Straits performance, as it contains no re-recordings, overdubs of any kind, and there are unfortunately occasional stage buzzes." I don't think I've ever seen a live album apologize for itself.
Also,
before.
like what I didn't really have any. I there was times where I felt that the vocals were mixed a little loud, but I didn't hear the stage buzzing too bad.
No, this is a polygram record manufactured by Vertigo. This one was pressed in Quebec.
To be fair, maybe the buzzing was cleaned up in the streaming versions.
Maybe. I honest to God, like listening to it in my living room on my stereo, I couldn't tell either. But the LPs are very crisp. Like I said, they're very clean, despite the fact that my LP itself is kind of bunged up. On some pressings, the center label has an arrow that points from the center hole outward to the edge of the album. Mine don't. They're just plain white labels that have the Alchemy logo on them. But mine are, again, Canadian pressing. This is on what I would consider thick vinyl for the 80s. It's not tremendously thick like you would get on a pressing these days, but it is held up really well. I paid $20 for the box of records I got it in, and there were probably 40 or 50 records in the box. So I
Nice.
paid like 30 cents for this record.
That's cool. You loved.
And it was a good one. I actually remember that Peter Gabriel album I got you?
Yeah.
That was in that box too. I got so I had 2 copies of that album, and that's why I gave the other one. I guess the interesting thing I found out about this album is that if you were part of like Columbia House Records, like the mail order record club, you could order this as just one LP. You could order it one LP at a time instead of buying it at the same time.
Oh, I thought you meant you could order all of this music on a single LP. No.
So they sold it as like LP1, and then you could order the other one, and that's considered an extremely inferior version because it's on very thin vinyl, and you have to buy both of them to get the whole album.
Yeah. Version of this you have?
I have.
So the Canadian?
This is a Canadian pressing, yes. I can give you the album, the code VOT-2-3335.
Wow. It's currently listed on Discogs for 258 Canadian dollars.
That's crazy. Mine is nowhere near worth that much.
Yeah, that's for it is in mint. The sleeve is near mint and the media is mint.
I would call the sleeve good and the media mint.
Yeah, the median for this album is $23.
Yeah, that sounds about right. If you can pick this up used, I would recommend it. They did put out a box set of all of their live albums as a re-release of all of the Dire Straits albums as a part of a larger box set last year. and you can get all of their live recordings for an exorbitant amount of money. I think it's like $100, but you get all of their live albums they've ever released.
I mean, how many albums is that?
It's like 5.
It's not crazy for 5 albums for 100 and even 150
I
bucks.
think it's called Live 1977 to 93.
They have
or
a
something
studio
like that.
box set that's 174 bucks.
That's not bad. That's all. They have a lot more studio albums than they do live albums.
Oh, sorry, studio 1978 to 1991. Did they make any more after that?
No, Dire Straits broke up after
Okay,
that.
yeah, I was like, I don't know if they ever.
So that's all of them. And then Mark Knopfler went on to do his own thing for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah, as a time capsule, I find it very interesting. As a piece of music for listening start to finish, it is perhaps less compelling. I enjoy it though, and I put it on, like I said, like if I just need background noise, because like a lot of the album is very quiet and atmospheric, so it's not like you're like it's not like you're rocking out to it like constantly.
it doesn't grab your attention. You have to give it your attention.
That's right. Yeah. And last night I watched the concert on film, and it's about right.
Yeah.
So
Honestly, like I'd say, like if you could start this at the Sultans of Swing, and then go through to Telegraph Road.
mm-hmm.
You could have a grand old time.
Mm-hmm.
But
The unfortunate thing is if you're listening to it on LP, if you want to listen to Sultans of Swing, it's the last ring on side B of the first LP. And then if you want to keep listening to it, you have to pull out another LP and then flip it.
yeah,
So definitely one of the songs that is better in the film version or on the digital version. The digital version actually makes it much longer. So if you were into it, then you're
there's
really
even more
into
for
it.
you.
Yeah. Anyway, I put it in the 2 spot. There's not a lot of competition right now.
No.
But as we get going, maybe we'll move it around. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I like it. It's a nice time capsule.
Yeah.
And
For me, I wrote, it's long. Sometimes it's boring, but when it hits, it hits. It's 80s rock indulgence from one of the least rock bands to ever rock across the globe. And it's full of great guitar work, great playing, good songs. And I also put it in my number 2 spot. I will be returning frequently to Sultans of Swing 10 minutes for like the Sultans
Yeah,
of Live
sure.
version. It's so cool.
Adam, I really like live music. Now, Bell and Plouffe, our 2 previous hosts, our 2 previous colleagues, I guess. They're still alive. I don't know. I keep making it sound like
Yeah,
they're
rest in
around.
peace, both of them.
Yeah, rest in peace. Well, they're dead to us, but
Yeah.
they didn't really understand live music, but I would say
To clarify, they like seeing shows live. They don't like listening to live albums.
that's right. Yeah, to clarify, I would say a good third of my collection is just live recordings. Now, where do you fit in there?
I don't know. I think that it really depends. A lot of the times, live albums work best when you have a band like Dire Straits,
Mm-hmm.
where you're willing to have improvisation and like jamming and changes to arrangements. That's when I like a live album. The worst kind of live albums are like they just played the songs, but they're worse because the production's worse and the vocal performances are worse.
Yes.
Like there's some live albums that have like completely changed my opinion on artists. John
Interesting.
Mayer's Live from Los Angeles completely turned around what I thought about John Mayer.
Yeah, John Mayer is one of the few musicians where I'm like, man, that guy's a weenie. And then I saw a live performance of his work, and I was like, oh,
Yeah, the dude's like legendary.
he's good.
He's legendarily good at guitar.
Yeah.
He just writes kind of
Goodbye is
mediocre songs, but
fun.
he writes hits though.
Yeah.
He makes money, but also like he's like an incredible guitarist.
Yeah.
But that's also an album that thrives because he's a guitarist who's willing to jam and do improvised solos and play
Exactly.
with a variety of music, and he has a catalog where he can like knock out hits.
He was on tour for a while with our friends, the Grateful Dead, as Dead and Company. He was the guitarist
Yeah.
standing in for Jerry Garcia.
Another
Peace
great
Jerry
like
Garcia.
live album is like Sufjan Stevens' Carrie and Lowell live,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
which
sure.
you'd think would be like, why would I ever want to hear that album in a live setting? Because it's such a sad album. But there's
Yeah.
tons of new arrangements on it. Songs get entirely transformed, and it's really really cool. And I think that's where like live albums really shine, is when you can get the different interpretations songs. But bands that don't do that, I don't get it. Like there's a reason why like there's not really any live rap albums.
No, that's actually a really good point. Yeah, you don't really see any live rap albums. I think there's a Public Enemy live album, But
yeah, but
could I
like
tell you what it's
for the
called?
most of it, what's the point? Unless maybe there was like I would listen to a live album if it was like he's like on YouTube a lot. But if he did like a live album where his like thing is he comes and he freestyles, I would listen to a live album like that
Mm-hmm.
because it is new and something like it is new stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
But I don't need to listen to like Kendrick Lamar live.
I don't think anything would be improved by that.
Same thing, and it's like same thing with like I guess like like electronic music. Same. I don't any
Yeah.
live albums interesting. Like Bjork has a live album, but her live albums are like she did what is it? Volnicura, I think, with an orchestra. So it was a
Fascinating.
complete new rearrangement. It was a complete arrangement and it was acoustic and it was a live performance. That's cool. It's different.
Yes.
It's not the album, but worse. So it really depends. And I think a lot of the older live albums, like a lot of old live albums make a lot more sense because there's more of that like blues and jamming and stuff like that. Like jazz live albums work.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, yeah. Like I have an Oscar Peterson
Yeah.
live at the Montreal Jazz Festival, whatever.
Yeah. So
album that's
I
from
like
there.
live albums. They just have to be worth their time.
Yeah, I
And provide
understand what you're
something
saying.
new.
Yeah, they have to differentiate themselves from the album.
Yeah. Yeah. Like don't need a Nirvana live album except for MTV Unplugged.
Yeah, I
'Cause-
have from the Muddy Banks of the Wish guy, which is like their other live album that came out after he died.
Yeah. It's like,
It's fine.
yeah.
It sounds like a live album. One album I'd really like to cover one day is Procol Harum's album with the Evanston Symphony Orchestra, because it was the first commercially successful album to be recorded with an orchestra.
Oh, really?
It's the only album by an orchestra that's ever gotten platinum,
Wow.
and it's our very own Evanston
Edmonton,
Symphony.
Alberta, represent.
Yeah, that's 5 tracks.
Yeah.
It's 1 LP though, so
Yeah.
I'd like to cover that one day. That one's kind of tough. I like it, but 4 of the songs are about seafaring for no reason.
What you got against seafaring? Well, I mean, you never went to the beach. You lived here for like 4 years and never went to the beach.
Yeah, I've been to the beach several times now.
See, it's beach is pretty nice, huh?
Yeah, yeah. You can ice cream down there.
Yeah.
Except all the beaches. So this summer we had a weird summer where many of the beaches were closed because of the E. coli or whatever.
Yeah, just don't swim.
Yeah,
You can
but
go to
this
the
one-
beach.
If I'm going down to the beach, I'm not gonna sweat on the sand the whole time.
Oh, I mean, that's what I do.
Oh,
Or just I also like really with the E. coli.
put your
thing,
toe-toes in.
just step in it. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can go in it. Just don't like submerge yourself.
Yeah,
As long as it doesn't get into any of your like,
cuts.
yeah. As long as you have like, yeah, you don't have open wounds and it's not getting into your eyes, mouth, nose, ears. You're usually fine.
Yeah,
So like,
I will say the Pacific Ocean is extremely cold.
it's
So,
so cold out here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're getting into the weeds on this, but yeah, live albums. I really like live albums, and there's somewhat of an urge to not make every album I want to cover this year a live album, but with also putting in albums I really want to talk about. But
Why do you like a live album so much? What makes a live album so good to you?
Some of them have the best or like the definitive version of a song that like maybe was a little restrained
Totally.
on an album.
Yeah. Oh, I see. I totally agree because their songs were like the fact that they like let loose and brought the energy on the song. Like
Yeah.
really.
The albums that, like live albums that work the best are the ones where they feel the most loose or like they feel the most free.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one, and then you get into some of them though that are very self-indulgent, and that's a thing as well, I guess. But there's a lot of really fun ones, and maybe we'll get to them this year. Maybe we'll get to them next season. Who knows?
Who knows? You'll have to find out by listening to next week's episode.
On Final Verdict.
Thank you, listener.
Bye now.
Love you. Bye.